Hello everybody and welcome back to another episode of Raven Plays. Uh-oh, and it crashed. It's still a little unstable. Take two. Boop. Hello everybody and welcome back to another episode of Raven Plays. I'm your humble host, Raven800, and today I'm going back into Carrier Command 2 to pretty much go over what I've learned during my time playing off-camera and kind of demonstrate the drone combat more effectively or more efficiently, and the logistics, because I actually learned how to do that with the help of a friend of mine. And then I hope that my next video of Carrier Command 2, the demo, will be with a few friends who will hop on and kind of do a multi-crew thing with me and see how that all works. So let's go ahead then. We've already done the tutorials and stuff, so I'm just going to go ahead and host a private game. New game and start. Loading world. So the game at the moment, even though it says 65 islands, 1 AI team and all that jazz, it's still limited to 4 capturable islands, with 1 island being your starting point. I'm sure later on in development they will have it so that you can actually have those 65 islands, etc., and be able to capture them all. Until then, though, pretty much just stuck with the 4. I'm going to go ahead, do the usual, go down to the ship, turn on some lights, the important ones this time, not all of them. Okay. Get the hangar lights. Very good. We have our drones. Then let's activate the corridor lights. Head down to the garage. There we go. We have these lights activated now. I'm on a boat, motherfucker. Tortilla. Hopefully, Tortilla, you will like this game as well, and you can join us in some grandiose adventures. Alright, so there's this corridor. There's level 3. Because this is a dead end. And this is a corridor that actually leads out to the catwalk. You can watch vessels as they launch. Alright. Let's head back to the top floor, because there's nothing else to do down here except gush over the mess hall and flight deck and all that jazz. Alright. So then, go ahead and power up the ship. Systems online. So here we have our fuel, we have our health, and we have our inventory space. We currently have 43% of our inventory space used. I'll get into logistics once we capture a few islands. Up here we have our depth sonar, we have our compass, and we have our propulsion system. Over here is our repair. Oops. Over here is our damage and repair assessment screens. Here's our power usage. This is also our damage indicators. I'm really not going to mess with the breaker at the moment. But here's our inventory and logistics screen, as well as our vehicle loadout screen. I think we went ahead and touched on the vehicle loadout screen last time I played. The Sea Whiz, arming the main cannon, cruise missiles, etc., etc. This is all the information for these weapons. The radar, which I'm actually going to zoom out and expand. And then there's the Sea Whiz and the anti-air. And here are 3 drone controls. Now, I actually did some, well, like I was experimenting a little bit, and I can actually set a pre-made path for certain drones. Or actually for all the drones by clicking on the carrier instead of actually deploying the drone and then clicking on it itself. And I can actually set altitudes for flying drones with the waypoints that I set, which is pretty cool, actually. So that answers my question about being able to set waypoints and stuff like that. Me, because I'm by myself, I like to go ahead and just bring up the island information here. And then what I'm going to do here is I'm going to go ahead and going to launch my first Albatross. Send him over here. And I'm going to set his altitude to 2,000 meters. That's going to be, as soon as he launches off the carrier, he's going to be flying 2,000 meters overhead. Or 2K, 2 kilometers. And I'm going to alter his course. I'm going to click and drag. Boop. Click and drag. Boop. Click and drag. Boop. Click and drag. Boop. And then I'm going to close the circuit so that he will continue to patrol that area. While he's doing that, I'm going to go ahead and start the engines. Bring us in closer to that island. There he goes. Going to continue his climb to Angels 20. At least I think that's what it's called, Angel 20 altitude. Could be wrong. I don't know. As much as I play Air Force, Navy, and military games, I don't know all the lingo. But bringing him up to 2,000, or yeah, bringing him up to 2,000 meters or 2K altitude should keep him away from most anti-aircraft guns. Anti-aircraft missiles, however, will still be able to lock on to him. I don't know if they can, like, dodge or something, because I remember the last time I was testing it out, there was an enemy ship that had anti-aircraft capabilities, and it shot a missile at it, and the missile just flew and flew. It was getting closer and closer. I thought I was going to lose my drone, and then it just stopped. So I don't know what happened there. Let's do ocean depth. How deep? Alright, so now the drone is in position and will be patrolling around the island, which should give us a good vantage point. Aside from our periscope here, should give us a good vantage point of the island itself. And I think this will be a good area to hold position. Go ahead and cut the engine for fuel preservation. At least I think it's preserving fuel. I don't know. And let's go ahead and take control of that drone and see what we can find. So we go to camera. Connecting. Alright. Here we have the main flight control. We're going to leave that to automatic. But I am going to switch over to the gimbal camera. Take direct control of that. Now, by default, it's, you know, fixed on the rail itself. So every time the drone moves, the camera's going to move with the drone. You can also choose to set it to stabilize, where anytime it moves, it'll stabilize the pitch and yaw, or the pitch and rotation. So you'll be facing the same direction and be facing the same height and altitude. Then they have a third setting called tracking, which will now lock on to its last location that you set it to, and it will continue to track that direction at all times. Those X's right there are my carrier. Well, let's go ahead now. The sun is setting. We should have an easier time spotting out drones because for whatever reason, drones need their headlights in order to see. Now, it would be cool if later on in development they add in thermal vision, night vision, you know, all that stuff, so that you can see things better during the day, during the night, etc. So it looks like we have our main satellite facility here, the radar facility that we're going to capture. We saw headlights over here. It might be a little too high up, so I'm going to see about changing the altitude from 2,000 to 1,800. In just a second. Alright, so that's one seal. Another seal. Oh, we've got another patrol over here. Now, even though it's tracking, it's still a little unstable at times when the drone turns and adjusts its pitch and heading. Gun drone. So the first thing is to identify. The second percentage is to identify what weapon it's using, or what weapon platform it's using. Alright, that's another gun drone. Looks like that might be all targets at the moment. What I'm going to go ahead and do is in the next waypoint, or at least this waypoint, going to adjust altitude to 1,800, see if we can't get a better view. So see, like right now, if the game had the ability to switch to like a thermal view or something, this would be so much more awesome. Alright. Very good, very good. And I think I am now going to set... Oh, I have to set the altitude for all of them. Okay, so we're going to do 1700. 1700 and 1700. Connect one more time just to verify that everything is correct. Alright, we are now at altitude 1700. And we have a much clearer sight picture now. Alright. We should still be out of range of their guns, which I believe has a maximum range of 1500. Could be wrong. I don't want to risk it too much, but let's go ahead and be a little more daring. Let's bring it down to 1600, because by default it sets to 1500, and that's when it gets shot down. Let's bring it down to 1600, see if we can't... get a clearer picture. Alright. Yeah, now we can actually start to see mountain formations. We can see the trails of their tires. Very good. So now we have a clear picture of the island. Just want to double check and make sure that this guy is alone. Very good. Alright. Let's go ahead and start... Let's go ahead and activate the carrier's main guns. Main gun armed. I don't think we'll need a cruise missile for this. So, one thing is also awesome, like I was explaining, is that you can actually use the camera on the drone to call in fire support instead of having to use the periscope on the ship's bridge. So let's take control of this camera. Whoop. Let's switch to carrier guns. Let's target the lead vehicle and click. Rounds away. Gaboom. Beautiful. Alright, we've got another patrol over here. Target the lead vehicle. Looks like they're in the water right now. Maybe we might need the cruise missile. Oh, looks like they're turning back now. So let's go ahead and target the lead vehicle again. Rounds away. Gaboom. Very nice. Alright. Let's go ahead and start sending out our drones. Or our ground forces. Let's see. Loadout 1. This says a 20mm cannon. Very good. We're going to have this point wait for Alpha. This point wait for Alpha. This point, wait for Alpha. This point, wait for Bravo. From here, we're going to have them move straight in. And then, from Bravo, have them move up. Bravo. Then from Bravo, move here. And have them deploy vehicles. Now, there are 2 SEAL units left here. I could call in an additional strike and just wipe them out, make it easier for our ground troops. Or I could tell the drone itself to automatically attack using IR missiles. But I'm going to go ahead and call in another strike. Cannons ready. Lead the vehicle. Rounds away. Flash. Good hit on target. So now we have our vehicles here. Just waiting for them to get into position. Right. Yeah, so having like a night vision would be really awesome right now. Oh, hey, the V key is for voice gain. Yeah, having a night vision would be really awesome. Switch over the gun. You can zoom. Alright, we are all in position. Let's go ahead and let's just do Alpha and Bravo go codes. Alright, our drone is running low on fuel, so let's go ahead and have them RTB. Light up the runway. See if we can't see our units on the periscope. Right in front of us. So apparently, another thing that you can do, I think it was something that I tried to do with the, what is this chassis called? walrus chassis. I tried putting a observation camera on it, and that kind of got in the way of the gun a little bit, but I was still able to put it on there. Basically, the observational camera is another form of periscope. So, while I'm waiting for our drones to capture the island, okay. I think we are loading up. Oh, there we go. Just came in for a landing. So while we're waiting for our drones to capture the island, I'm going to go over the logistics real quick. So I'm going to have to option this fisheye lens. The fisheye lens needs a little work, devs, if you're watching this. I doubt you are, but if you are watching this, the fisheye lens needs some work. Alright. Better. So, stock. So, of course, you know, you have your warehouse stock, you have your pending orders from the warehouse, and then you have carrier stock. On the map, these icons represent the items or factories that you can capture from these islands, with your starting island being your warehouse. Now, in order to get materials from your warehouse to your carrier, it took me a second to realize this, you have to link the barge to the warehouse. This will assign the barge to the warehouse. You can also assign the barge to multiple factories at a time. And if you assign the barge to, say, this turret warehouse or factory, once we capture it, and you link the factory to the warehouse, the barge will then take whatever is produced from that factory, bring it back to the warehouse, and it'll continue that loop. And then at any time, if I want the barge to bring me anything from the warehouse, I have to link the warehouse to the carrier. So what I'm going to go ahead and do is, just to demonstrate it, I'm going to request, or I'm going to order, turrets. Let's get some 30mm turrets in here. I'm going to make a requisition of 10. Now the barge is collecting the order from the warehouse. And once it's ready, once it has the materials needed, it will then deliver it directly to the carrier. Now it will take some time because it's obviously traveling in real time. There it goes. It has the order and is now delivering the order to the carrier. Now, it's going to take a lot of time, and of course, in the demo, it's extremely time-consuming to try and get, orders directly from the warehouse, etc. So sometimes you'll have to have the barge take control, or, take orders directly from the factory to the carrier, which is fine. However, because you only have the one barge, it can be very time consuming, because just because I order 10, 30mm cannons or turrets doesn't mean that it's going to grab all 8 that were in the warehouse and bring all 8 to my carrier. It's going to collect a little bit at a time because it's got a limited storage capacity. So from 8, it was able to carry 4. Now it's going to carry that 4 to my carrier. Then it's going to go back for the rest, and then it's going to put it in my carrier. I'm going to go ahead and change it down to 8 because that's how much I had. Because I'm not sure if after it makes the delivery, it'll go down, obviously, from 8 to 4. If it was still set to 10, I think it may have, gone down from 10 to 6, and then from 6, 2, and then that 2 would have remained there until I got another 2 30mm cannons. Nonetheless, that's pretty much how logistics and inventory works in this game. I'm hoping in later on in development you can actually produce more barges. Or you have the ability to capture more barges, because there were some factories that I saw that you could capture and they actually have barges that come with them. So it would be nice to be able to either produce or capture more barges. That way you can actually increase the flow of logistics, because it takes a very long time for logistics to make it to its destination. Alright, so the virus bots have been deployed. And there they go. They're heading to the radar dish now. Alright, while we wait for those bots to get into position, capture that point, I'm going to go ahead and move the carrier north of the island so that we can pick up our boys. So pretty much, the game is just drone warfare simulator, which I'm all for. I don't mind. I can see it getting a little boring after a while, but I still enjoy the concept of it. Being able to, fully man your ship or your bridge with other players, and being able to just, do all of this. It's a very interesting concept. I've always loved first-person strategy games. Battlezone is one example of that. Battlezone Combat Commander is another example of that. Eximius, which is another game that just recently came out that I haven't really done much streaming or recording on, is a perfect example of first-person strategy, because it's literally like Command and Conquer, but like with Battlefield first-person style gameplay. Absolutely love that game. Let's go ahead and position it so that they have full access to the dry dock or the garage. Got the engine. Let's go ahead and recall our drone. Alright, so the radar station has been captured, which means we now control the island. Now, we can go to the map, click on the island. We can produce 30mm cannons. We can produce up to 5,000 stocks. Now, for the demo, obviously, aircraft chain gun, rocket pod, turret phalanx, turret missiles, these are all locked away. We can't access these. However, the factory itself has a storage capacity of 5,000 stocks. So now, if I wanted to, barge doing, delivering to carrier, So now if I wanted to keep supplying turrets, instead of going from the warehouse to the carrier, I would then assign my barge. I would assign the factory to the carrier instead of the warehouse. And then the barge, after linking it to the factory, will then deliver weapons from the factory to my carrier. Let's bring in the last 4 turrets. Very good, very good. I'm going to go ahead and link this barge to the factory as well. Here come our drones. We should have all 4 of our buggies back. Yep. Alright. So those are our seals. Or cells, whatever. And then these are the walruses. The walruses are supposed to be an all-purpose vehicle. I don't know if that means that they have more armor. But, yeah, these are the walruses. Those are the seals. Probably check the information screen later. But yeah, that's pretty much drone warfare. That's pretty much how to better utilize the drones in the game that I was, disappointed in when I first played it, when I first tried it out. And that's pretty much how logistics work in the game. So I figured all that out, and I just wanted to make an update video showing that, showing how they work. Because, last time I had no idea what I was doing, and the tutorial, unfortunately, didn't really teach much in the way of setting up waypoints and stuff like that, or pre-planning waypoints and setting up patrol lines as well. So, and then of course the logistics wasn't very much explained either. The text, I guess, the help screen did explain how to link them, but it was very confusing, at least for me anyway. I wasn't grasping it. But yeah, you can drag between captured islands to link them, drag from a warehouse to a carrier to link them, drag from a barge to 1 or more factories to link them. So, I guess a better way to explain it would be drag your cursor between islands to link the islands, or to link the factories, right? You can drag from the warehouse to the carrier to deliver. You can drag from a warehouse or factory to a carrier to receive resources from said factory, right? Or warehouse, because you could only link one at a time. You can drag from the barge to 1 or more factories to link the barge to said factory routes. You can drag between 2 linked nodes to clear the link, which will cancel the link between nodes. Select captured factories to open the resource production menu. Click on that, in the map screen. So it's, yeah, it's just, I guess there was just some miscommunication. So yeah, it looks like you can actually capture barge factories in the game. So you can produce more barges to increase the flow of logistics. That's pretty cool. So yeah, that's pretty much the update video that I wanted to make to kind of show off the drone warfare and how to better utilize it, and to show that I figured out the logistics. So hopefully this intrigues a couple people who like these simulation style games, who actually like or enjoy naval combat, military-esque games and strategy and all that jazz. I look forward to seeing what the developers have planned in the future. Please, developers, though, don't change a damn thing when it comes to being able to freely walk around your ship. I don't care what the fans say. I think the what is it? The carrier command that I played was the Gia mission or whatever the heck it was. And all it was just a command screen where you gave orders and that's it. And that was boring as hell. Please, please, please continue with this multi-crew bridge system. This is absolutely awesome. Obviously, like I said earlier, add in a few features for the drones, like having thermal vision, night vision, things like that, to make it not easier, but make it, I guess, to enable like more line of sight, I guess, for spotting targets and whatnot. I do like that there are 3 screens here instead of just the one. You can have like one person managing the ground troops. You've got another person managing the, drones for scouting and whatnot, and then another person to switch between the two. That's pretty cool. I like I know it's like, oh, this is like so, useless, but I like the fact that they have these switches to activate the headlights, to activate the runways manually. I don't care if people say, oh, this should all be automatic. I don't care if it's not practical. It's still cool to have, and I still like it. Don't change a damn thing about that, please. All of these little trinkets, all of these little extra knobs and gizmos and stuff and heads-up displays and everything, awesome little additions that just make the game feel more immersive. So, I'm really looking forward to future updates. Hopefully, you will continue to put out these updates in the demo so that we can continue to experience them and give feedback. And yeah, just, steady on. Full steam ahead. You have my support, and I am definitely invested in this game. I will definitely purchase this game when it comes out. I don't care if it's at full price. I'm absolutely loving the concept. So, alright. Enough cock goblin. Thank you all so much for watching, especially those who stuck around to the very end of the video. If you like what you saw, leave a comment down below. Give me some critiques, advice, suggestions for other games. I'm always open to that. And feel free to hit the like button to let me know that you want to see more videos like this or more of this game. And if you want more videos or streams, feel free to hit the subscribe button so that you can stay tuned and yeah, not miss another video. But until then, thank you all again so much for watching. As always, I'm your humbled host, Raven800. I hope you all have yourselves a good day, a good evening, and I hope to see you all on the next one. Take care of yourselves.